the fuck is my body feeling like this? And I almost had a panic attack while driving. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm just really high. I got to my destination safely after that.
Well, I don't condone in, drinking and driving or, driving super faded. But, sometimes it is what it is.
Sometimes you got places to go, shit.
Places to go, crack to smoke, chocolate to eat.
Lots of crack to smoke, especially here in Pomona.
Speaking of crack to smoke, I've seen you getting back out there on the comedy circuit. Let's let the viewers or listeners, I would say, maybe soon to be viewers, seeing that we're now posting up content on the YouTubes with a video. Go ahead and break down what the comedy scene's been like.
Just really quick, I'm sorry. You said now that we're on the subject of smoking crack, and then you mentioned comedy. What?
I feel like if there was a comedian who was smoking crack and was very, very funny, no one would shame him. I feel like a little bit of copious amounts of drugs go hand in hand with comedy.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm not saying you do crack, but I'm pretty sure you've met a comedian who's done crack. One or two cracks.
I think I've met some comedians that were on crack as they're on stage. Like there's one time one black dude was up there. He's going, white powder, white powder, white powder. And I was like, know what? I can't be mad because I like white powder too. So, well, yeah, dude. Comedy scene. I'm not going to say it's back, and there's definitely it's mixed right now because there's a little bit of respect going around because people are like, oh man, you're getting out there, you're doing the thing, like that's cool. But then on the other side, there's the social distance warriors out there that are like, oh my God, I can't believe you're fucking doing this. You're going to get everybody sick. You're going to kill the entire planet. What about your mom and dad? And I'm like, yo, I fucking live in a room by myself. I'm not around anybody at any point. And then, like, it's one of those things where, honestly, like, if you're going to a comedy show, you're an adult. And as an adult, I would expect you to know whether you're in an okay condition to go out and be with public people. So, like, basically what I'm saying is, if you're sick, stay the fuck home. If you're scared of getting sick, stay the fuck home. You don't need to go out. Only people who are with the shits like, yo, we're going out. Like, the Zoom mics aren't enough for us. We like practicing on our bits in front of people. And of course, at these spots, there is an amount of social distancing. Some places more so than others. Some places less so than others. Well, but like everybody's kind of like, it's a mature decision that everybody's been making.
Well, my question to you is then, have you been hearing, about the people that are just refusing to wear masks, and I'm not going to say, conform to the norm, but, more so they aren't taking, I forget the word's escaping me right now, but they're not even taking steps preemptive steps just to be safe. Like I saw this meme and I tweeted it the other day. Those of you that follow the Block is Hot podcast on Twitter, wearing a mask to prevent illness is like wearing underwear in the hopes that people won't smell your farts. And that spoke so much to me. I was just like, holy fuck. Like, that is hold on 1 second.
Well, I do feel like that's a real thing.
I'm recording a podcast right now. I'll talk to you later. But
I do feel like that is a real thing, though, as far as like, because I think there has been research that came out with that the masks don't really do shit.
Well, no, it is. It's basically it's for the people that are already sick to not spread, their flu, their germs. It's mainly to keep it in. But I think it's more of a mindset to kind of show that we're all in there together in solidarity. Like, I know that me wearing a mask isn't going to prevent me from getting sick, but it's kind of just showing like, yo, I get it. There's people that are immune system compromised. There's people that do have families and babies, and just to show that I'm with you on this. Like, I want everyone to be healthy. I'll wear a mask in public. As far not outside, like if I'm walking in the street or like driving in my car, but if I'm going into a public building, yeah, I'll put a mask on. I got no issues with that. Have you Have you heard about Florida Felicia?
Huh?
Florida
Who?
Felicia? That sounds like
Forward
an
to Felicia.
Florida Felicia.
Florida Felicia. No.
All right, let me know if you hear this audio.
It literally is killing people. And the people are waking up, and we know what citizens arrest is, because citizens arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity. Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but
so basically you have people that are standing up, you know, inside, you know, the city hall, all that shit, and basically they're going off saying how like this whole mask thing is just a way to kind of militarize the people and keep them in lock and step and things like that, which I can kind of get behind as far as the conspiracy. But the only thing that I heard from Felicia Florida, or Florida Felicia, that actually did kind of have something that resonated was when she brought up the social distancing of 6 feet, because apparently 6 feet is a good range to where you can't fuck up facial recognition. So explain. Well, if we've been putting up a lot of cameras and 5G tech and all that stuff, and facial recognition is going to be a part of the norm, apparently when you have a 6 feet, you know, proximity, it makes it easier for the cameras to pick up on your face.
Interesting. I can believe that.
And everyone right now is being trained to have 6 feet worth of space, you know, around them, like at all times. You know, 6 feet, 6 feet is the magic word. So, you know, people don't realize it, that they are going to be opening up themselves to facial recognition. Like, you'd be safer from facial recognition probably if you're in a group of people, you know, which they're trying to.
Interesting.
I know it's something crazy. When I heard, I was like, that actually that might make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but like at the same time, it does make sense as far as like that kind of technology goes. I mean, of course, it means nothing right now because everybody's wearing face masks. But once this shit goes away, well, actually, then again, there's all those filters that like Snapchat uses. That, I mean, even if you are wearing a face mask, facial recognition could probably already spot you anyway.
I would think that there's no way we're going to bypass facial recognition. If anything, we're doing it right now just by wearing masks. And if that becomes a part of our reality, they're gonna have to look for other ways to facially recognize people. Now, what I would say that could be a potential, I guess, deterrent is more so that surveillance system is starting to come into play. Like, I don't know, you have an Android, but I just recently updated my my cell phone, and when you go into your privacy and then you go click on health, there is a COVID-19 exposure logging. Now, granted, it's turned off by default, but we know that they can turn that on at any point, you know, and just have it be a part of the software, you know, so it can track where you've been going, if you've been in areas of high exposure to COVID. And, you know, granted, it could be done under the guise of this will keep you safe, because by having your phone, having this, you know, the system on, you'll know, hey, you went to a place that has high COVID cases, maybe you should get tested, or maybe you should kind of start to isolate yourself, you know, or if you start feeling sick, you can track it back to where you were, you know? So I don't know. I feel like it's slowly being pushed in, and we're getting indoctrinated into this new way of life. Like, I mean, we're old enough to remember life before 9/11 and before, you know, the what was it, anthrax scare? Like, remember the whole like anthrax and candy and all that shit? Like, we were around to remember life before that and then life after that. And you know what? Now we're going to be logging that same thing with this COVID-19 business, you know, life pre-COVID.
The funny thing about this whole COVID thing that I was actually reading on is that they were saying that they need more Black people to get tested, because apparently we're not going in and getting tested, because I mean, a lot of us, we don't remember, but we've heard stories about the whole Tuskegee experiments and how, I mean, it was supposed to be simple checkups, and then next thing we know, like a big Black population has syphilis because they fucking injected that shit into them.
Well, a huge
like,
part of our history is being skeptical of doctors, and any type of
yeah,
establishment. That's just the black community as a whole. Like what was that joke? Chris Rock. Oh, just rub some tussin on it. Like, whatever you can do to get away. We'll do any type of home remedy. We'll do herbal shit. The only thing we don't fuck around with is when it comes down to like cancer and shit involving your balls. That's the only time we'll go to the doctor.
Well, it's funny that like even with that, it's like think about who like they ended up taking. Well, I shouldn't say they ended up. Well, somebody he ended up getting taken out. They took out Nipsey Hussle, who was doing the whole Dr. Sebi shit, which like would be a perfect time to be hearing that kind of message right now. But they already like got that shit removed and like outed. But like with that, I feel
the
like
blockheads that are out there, just want to make sure I had to grab my copy. This is an actual original copy. Oh, this is the revised. So this is the second one. I have the other one in the other room. But for y'all to see, damn, I gotta turn this fucking like little screen off.
yeah, that shit doesn't have like good.
Just my room is messy right now.
Yeah, your room is very messy. My room is messy. I just like throw a blanket on top of shit.
That's all you like. It's like doing laundry and shit, and I said, "Fuck it, I'll throw it on the bed." But How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. I highly recommend everybody read it. But of course, read it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of anti-Semitic shit in there, just to be completely honest. Like it talks, I'm just saying, like, and it talks a lot of shit on Christians too, and I'm a Christian myself.
Yo.
But the content and the message of how to eat to live is something that we should all eat. We should all read, especially the black
I believe
community.
that just because somebody has views that are widely just like disconnected from what you believe in doesn't mean that they're not pushing out good info in other cases. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if maybe you hate black people or whatever, but maybe you really know about cars.
Well,
I have good information on that.
Well, imagine also in this kind of sense, like a lot of the diet that we have is based on more so the Caucasian diet of the people, born in the Caucasus Mountains and all that, and whether or not people want to realize it, even though we're all the same, we're different, Black people aren't the same as far as our diets that are as healthy. If someone that grew up in the Amazon or let's just use that for example. Someone that grew up in the rainforest versus someone who grew up in a colder climate like Sweden, their bodies aren't going to be processing food the same way given where they live. So imagine all the foods that we've grown up eating that are actually bad for us. Like black-eyed peas are bad for us. Collard greens are actually bad for us. Kale is bad for us.
Not the collard greens.
Yeah, a lot of sweet potatoes are bad for us. Like almost everything in the black diet is bad for us. And that's why that Boondocks made that episode, the itis, because he was right. Like a lot of this was survival foods, but we've never been educated on how to eat to live. And
it was pushed onto us.
Yeah, and we're a conspiracy channel, just so if we believe that there's a higher tier or a higher class of elite people that run this bitch and they hate us, and we believe that some of them really don't like black people, you think they would give us food to eat that's gonna help us live a longer life? Nah, they probably eat this bullshit. Of course you're gonna cook it up and make it fire. That's why we love these foods. But at the end of the day, is it causing our digestive system to work harder than it should, which then causes shortest life?
You know what's crazy? Now every time I eat fried chicken, I get explosive diarrhea.
Yep, dude.
I love
fried food
chicken,
in general,
but yeah, exactly. Fried food in general, it fucks my stomach up. I love that shit though. But I do believe that if something makes you shit like that after you eat it, probably shouldn't be eating it.
Because it's like, think about it, your body's trying to get it out as quick as possible.
It doesn't even break it down completely. It just says and blows it out your asshole.
And then you're just stuck with a bunch of mud, but
yeah, and then a chafed and itchy ass crack. That's like advice to anybody out there. Like, yo, fucking get real with yourself. If you have diarrhea after you eat, probably change up your diet just a little.
Dude, I've been on the one meal a day basically diet, like where I have one big meal and then at the most I might have some snacks.
That nigga you broke?
But nah, it's just I on that book, eat to live. He even says like you only need 1 meal a day. And then he was saying like, it's like the only times you really need to eat 2 meals a day is if you're doing something like physical labor or something. And then he wrote, if you work at a desk job or in an office, shoot, you can eat once every other day. You don't need to be eating all that. You're not, your body doesn't need it. And I thought about it, it's like, you're right. Like me just being at a desk 24/7, like I come home to a desk, I go to a desk in the office to work, like I'm constantly sitting down. Like I really don't need to eat and take in that much calories and really have that extra energy. Like I'll realize in the morning I'll drink so much coffee and I'll be jittery, and it's like, oh, I'm jittery because I'm not moving. I'm just sitting here typing on the computer.
Yeah, how many cups of coffee are you drinking?
Like 4.
God damn,
like
bro.
4 cups of coffee before 10 o'clock, and then I put on the second pot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're able to deal with that. That shit would fuck me up.
Honestly, it's the fact that I ride bikes. Like after work, I ride my bike, just do a couple of laps, like 6 miles around the block, and that gets the energy out. But nah, dude, I gotta stop.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. I feel like that's another big important thing is just staying active in general. That's one of the most important things that you can do for your body, because as they say, a body that stays in motion. Oh wait, I said that wrong. But essentially, a body that stays in motion stays in motion. Speaking of which, I've been riding a new bike.
What'd you get?
O'Reilly.
A what?
Riley.
Oh, Raleigh? Wait, you got a geared bike?
Yeah, it's geared.
An old school bike with do you have down tube levers to shift, or do you have levers on your actual front?
Down tube.
You fucking little bitch. What are you, Lawrence now? Fucking old Lamb got himself a road bike not too long ago, and I think he's like something with an M, but he has a down tube shifter. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Raleigh's a good brand, you know, it's old school and vintage, but I'll still smoke your ass on my fucking bike.
I don't know. This mobs. It mobs pretty hard. It mobs really fucking hard. I was surprised.
Probably.
It took,
to be honest,
it took me a little while to figure it out though, because I wasn't used to how like the shifters work.
You have to like be in the right tension and shit. Yeah, it's like driving a manual car. You know, you got to learn.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, like figuring out where you have to go through each one of the gears. It's pretty awesome though. It rides really smooth. I really like it.
I increased my gear ratio from a 46 to a 49, and those little 3 extra teeth, I was dipping. Me and Dom went on a ride on Monday to the clinic, smoked his ass. It was, you know, it was bad, but I wasn't even, it's not like I was actively trying to ride hard. It's just, you know, you're cruising. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it too. Like once you pick up and then once you get the momentum going, I even got like on the pedals, they're not clip-ons, but they're covers. So like you slip your foot in.
You have
like I'm able
toe
to
clips.
Yeah, exactly. Toe clips. So like I'm able to push and pull at the same time.
So you get it now. Like you get what I was saying about like when you have foot retention, like you feel the muscle that you're pulling up on. Like, so dude, you got to go on one of those long rides now with me and Dom so that you can coast with your bitch ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work up to. I need to strengthen up the gooch area again.
It's funny because fucking old G Whip just added me on Strava not too long ago. I think it was like yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
I probably should re-download that.
The dope peddlers are being formed.
Fucking dope smokers.
No. That they already have a group. We are the dope peddlers. Oh shit!
I actually want to do this thing where I want to get comedians on bikes. Maybe make it like a podcast or some shit. I recently bought myself a GoPro.
You know, I think
I want to.
Someone did that. I'm not sure if it was Brendan Schaub or something, but they were doing it on scooters. Comedians on scooters. I think Joey Diaz was on one of them, like a pilot kind of thing about comedians just doing shit.
That sounds horrible. Comedians on scooters.
Those little, like, you know, the lift scooters.
Oh, the electric ones?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that. But this one would definitely be different because we're going to be pedaling, so it's one of those things we're going to have to, like, at least pace each other. But I don't know. I'm not sure how. I got the GoPro. I got the bike. All I need to do is make it happen now.
Do it. Just do that shit. Well, fuck, we're already 20-something minutes in, and we haven't talked about a goddamn thing. Let's go ahead and hop into some of the shits.
Okay, really quick. Have you heard about this whole Bubba Wallace thing?
Nigga, that was the first thing on my fucking list. Just so you guys can actually see, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Because that was crazy that's what you were talking about doing. Like, what the fuck?
That shit's too funny to me, bro. Boom. Like, yo, I respect the man so much, especially being like the first and only fucking black NASCAR driver. But it's like, what the fuck is that shit?
So just so you guys see, like, this is my sticky notes. Bubba Wallace,
Bubba Wallace
intentional.
No, yeah, you know what it was, right? It was the handle to his garage door.
Yeah. Now, okay, so check this out. I'm gonna cop a plea for old boy Bubba. I feel like it is not our duty, but I gotta shoot my man some bail. How do I stop sharing this motherfucking sticky note?
I just feel like, because from what I understand, he wasn't the one that noticed it. It was one of
yes,
the garage mechanics. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what this is just my spitball. This is just my theory. All right, no one fucking attack good old, Billy Bordeaux. Now, here's what I think. I think you're right, because you said it. He didn't see it at first, but someone else did on his team. What I think was, it was already there. And like they said, it was there. When I was younger, in Boy Scouts and other things, then my grandpa, like, they taught me how to tie different types of knots, and a noose was one of them, And I always thought it was funny. Like, it's kind of just like a noose. Like, I know that it has origins, of course, tied to slavery, but the hangman's noose was before slavery. It's going to be after slavery. Yeah. Niggas going to hang themselves. So I just thought it was funny. And sometimes I would do it on like my sweatshirt on the ropes. I would turn them into little mini nooses and have it hanging with my shit. I know, trust me, I was a weird kid. So I can imagine someone being in that garage, having a pull tab that's really long and say, oh, fuck it, I'll tie it into a noose. Or even just having the noose, like, because you can cinch it, like just having that, like, it may have been a good knot, whatever.
Exactly.
And I think someone saw that, and you never know, potentially at that track per se, they know that that's like the noose garage. You may even have a nickname, and someone's like maybe assign Bubba to it. That's the worst benefit like I can give it. Like, some asshole assign him the garage that previously has always had a noose in it, Now, if we go away from that, the only second thing would be is like, yo, you're Bubba Wallace, I'm your crew manager or whatever. I'm showing up at the lot and I'm like, oh shit, a fucking noose. Like, I might just be like, yo, what the fuck? If I don't know, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's my boy. That's my driver. I'm going to pitch a bitch fit to NASCAR, and NASCAR just jumped in front of it and did the right thing. And of course, Bubba, who's going to hear about that, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, he's only going off of like the hearsay, because I've seen the footage of them driving by it. It looks like a fucking noose. Like, from a distance, it looks like a noose. But at the same time, but it's like off in the corner, so it doesn't look too crazy. And I'm just like, okay, like, I think it's blown out of proportion. But I'll say this, like, I was kind of hoping that it was real instead of it being like a Jussie Smollett 2.0, but no, 1.5, because like I said, he didn't plan this shit, but it's still a false narrative.
Yeah, it turned into that essentially.
My question to you, though,
I feel like,
Michael, before you go, my question to you now is, with everything I said, do you think this may have actually helped NASCAR?
No. People that are going to watch NASCAR are already watching NASCAR. People aren't going to start watching NASCAR because of this. All that's going to happen is that people that already thought NASCAR was stupid, they're just going to judge it even harsher without actually looking at what the sport of NASCAR is. I give a lot of respect to NASCAR drivers. That shit's hard. Anybody that says different, they've never been in a car that's gone over 110 miles. I can guarantee you that.
Facts. I had explained to Dom why NASCAR is difficult and why it deserves respect.
Bro,
I'll give you
200 miles an hour for 4 hours.
Locked up.
just
in a hot ass car.
You have to piss yourself. You have to shit yourself, and people are low key crashing very hard around you. That's not for the faint of heart. Even for like people who are into cars and racing, it's not for me for sure. I get scared like once I go past 120. I'm like, all right, I'm going fast. So that's what I have to say about that.
So I actually, then I guess this will be a good topic because I'm actually on the opposite side of where your stance is, of where you think that only people that watch NASCAR are going to continue. I think that this is showing a progressiveness in the sport, because whether people want to admit it, NASCAR actually has said that they want more black people to go to races and get involved with the sport, you know?
True.
And
Very
the things, they were so proactive on this, and like the whole, again, reissuing the fact that, yo, we don't fuck with the Confederate flag, stop bringing that shit, like, and just like showing that we support this black driver because we don't have many of them, and just like really doing everything just right off of it and like seeming genuine. Like they did all this before, because they could have waited till the investigation was over before they actually said something, but no, they jumped in front of it and they did the right thing to support their drivers in the community. And that whole, like, even though that pushing the car thing was kind of corny, it still did show a good solidarity for the sport, and maybe you'll have more people want to show support towards Bubba, who's a black driver, and just by doing that alone shines more light on the sport, you know? So I think it actually might have helped them, because we know that there's no racist, like necessarily, kind of, maybe.
Yeah, everybody's pretty evil. I am hoping that there is more black people that start getting into motorsports in general. I mean, even like one of the best F1 drivers right now, Lewis Hamilton, he's been killing the game for a minute, and like it sucks that like you bring him up and like nobody knows him, and he's one of the greatest black drivers ever. Fucking even Bubba Wallace, the first black NASCAR guy. I like these people kind of like
he's
need. I guess
not the first, but he is like the first in a long time.
There was another one? I never knew that.
Yeah, he's an old school guy. Like, I don't know the names, but there was a guy. He only got like I think one win in like a few races, but like, there was someone before. He was OG though. This is like back in like the 80s, I think.
Gotcha.
Or some shit.
Gotcha.
But no, what it is it's.
I would hope that more people, like more black people, do start like looking at motorsports in general, because it gets lonely out there sometimes.
You know what it is, and you fucking fellow blockhead Jason, you listening? I remember he talked about it, like the same thing with firearms. You know, not too many black people in it. Same thing with automotive sports. I think the reason why we're not in those sports is because it's an extracurricular activity that has way too much of a startup cost. You have to build a car to race. Even as a kid, if you're going to do go-karts and then buying tires, and then same thing like why there's not too many black people that play hockey. It's a very expensive sport to play. But basketball and football, all you need is the ball. And you know?
Even like what dirt biking is another one that like a lot of black, you don't see a lot of black people are like, what, there's Bubba Stewart, I believe his name. He was kicking ass.
Okay, you had dirt bikes, right?
Yeah.
Outside of you, the only other black person I knew that rode dirt bikes was Tinnen.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Was the only other black person that I knew that actually like rode bikes and like would go out to
that nigga had a big house. Yeah.
So, but again, you know, when you got money, those types of toys and motorsports actually become an option. What I think black people are actually drifting towards is drifting. Think about it.
You know, it's funny. I have seen a lot of
technically.
As far as like it goes with motorsports, the most black people that like I do meet were like they're into cars and whatnot, and they do go to track days. It was at drift events, because all you need is a car that could do slides.
Now,
and it doesn't, as long as it could make it around and slide a few times, you're gonna have a good time.
Now, I'm not a big fan of the YMB Namir, I think his name is. I'm not a big fan of him. Now, that nigga Corday, that motherfucker got bars. You know, he spits.
Yes, he does.
But that Namir kid, he's been using his money. I think he bought an RX-7 and he's building a drift car, a 350. So like,
that's fucking dope.
And that's what I'm saying. And so hopefully, another black person and then a celebrity at that, and then he's bringing black kids into that drift world to want to drift too.
There's I think it's T-Pain has a 240 SX,
and it has the Pickle Rick paint job.
Yeah, there's also The Weeknd. He has himself a 280 ZX, and I'm trying to think who's the other one. I can't think of the other one right now, but yeah, like you're starting to see kind of like a slow rise of like JDM in like the hip hop community. It's not big, but it's there. Because I mean, up till now, like most niggas was just riding around in like old school Chevys, and they turned them shits into dunks and whatnot.
Or the exact opposite, like they're trying to be about the fly life of like a BMW, Benz, or McClain.
Yeah,
or something.
I'm so tired of that shit. I'm so tired of like brothers only going like, oh yeah, I got the Beamer. It's like, bro, there's other more fun, more affordable options than that. Why are you going to get this car that you have to get on the lease and if it breaks? You can't even afford it, so you instantly have to like either give it back to the dealership or sell it. It's like, bro, there's more out there than just European whips.
It's like my father has his Mercedes, and my uncle, rest in
peace, nigga's
his BMW. Jeff, he has his Mercedes. What is it with black men and just wanting to own a Mercedes Benz? Like, I thought it was a Cadillac. But my dad did own a Cadillac, so I mean, I don't know. Like, is it Cadillacs and Benzes or an old school? Because I would have rather him got a Corvette or a GTR instead of getting that Mercedes.
Those are tried and true names: Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, and when it comes to mainly the black community, we're attracted to the brands that we trust, I guess would say, which is kind of weird that Mercedes, Benz, and Beamer is part of that list because like I'm pretty sure like Hitler helped create those or some shit like that. So I don't know how we swung their way, but I think it mainly has to do with like the price point. Most people figure that if you're paying a lot of money for something, you're getting a good product. When like a lot of times that isn't always the case. I mean, with those cars, yeah, they are good cars, but I mean, I've worked on a BMW before, and like they have like really weird niche parts. Like if you break one of their grounding cables to the battery, it corroded and snapped. So then eventually, like the car just lost all power to itself. I found that shit weird.
It honestly, it just seems like it's a really complex system, but I like the simplistic things, and I just think that buying a brand new car to me isn't unique. They mass produce them. Like I feel like more of these celebrities should be building cars that is a one of one to them instead of just trying to cop something that everyone has. So that's why I think it's kind of like boring, or when I hear rappers rap about cars and stuff, except for Currency, because Currency is the only person to me in the rap game that seems to be really about it, because he's actually doing custom setups and lowriders and getting different types of whips. Like he's not just buying something for the sake of buying it.
I'm tired of people rapping about Ferraris and Lamborghinis with the fucking rims that match the paint scheme and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. That's just where I'm at with that.
Well, shit,
diversify your cars, brothers.
Well, I mean, shit, if we can get this second round of the Stimmy checks, then maybe we'll be able to upgrade our cars.
Bro, customize them. I actually was reading that supposedly we're supposed to get something very soon, like within the next couple weeks.
Do you ever feel like kind of like not bad or guilty, but kind of like guilty that's like you're taking advantage, like I don't know. I know that it's like I've been working. I probably shouldn't get a Stimmy check, but I want one. Like it just
No, I've been working. Fuck all these motherfuckers that aren't working. Gang one, like, yo, you guys just been sitting on your asses waiting for good old Uncle Sam to come to the rescue, while all the while y'all over here can't do nothing but stop complaining about how shitty Uncle Sam is. Like, fuck y'all. I want that stim check. I
yeah.
fucking hate Uncle Sam, but I still work for myself, so I'm willing to fuck him over and take his money. He's taking enough money from me.
All right, now I don't feel as bad. I was just thinking, like, man, like I know it's like it feels like I'm abusing the system, but then at the same time, like the system ain't good for me.
$63 trillion. That's how much money they've lost. That they've probably spent on moon bases. That's our money.
Shit. Have you seen that show Space Force?
No, not yet.
You know what? It's pretty good. It's a slow build, has some cringy and corny moments, but it's not that bad, and it kind of raises questions as to like you said just now, potentially having moon bases. I think we probably have moon bases already.
We have moon bases. I feel pretty confident about that. And if we don't, China does. Mm-hmm. And if China doesn't, Russia does. You know what's funny about that show, though? I actually heard that now that they own the name Space Force, so whatever the Space Force was going to be called, the actual Space Force has to find a new name.
Wow. They have to call it the Outer Space Force, or just like Upper Space Force.
Upper atmosphere.
Because anywhere you are, you're occupying space. We're just in that upper space.
Well, isn't all space upper?
I think so.
The outer atmosphere.
They just probably dropped the United States Space Force. United States Space Force. Yeah. USSF. Yeah, they're gonna totally steal that from me.
You should put a patent on it and sell it to them.
Well, as long as we have it on this podcast and this podcast gets released, then we have stake to that name. Like, yo, we started that shit.
Well, not from what you told me earlier today. Apparently, we're getting demonetized from all our shit.
Oh yeah. For all you blockheads out there, just so you know, you know what? And I was gonna save this, but we've been blacklisted. All of our monetization has been stripped. We have no longer access to monetize on all the major platforms now. I'm not sure if that came after the that summit meeting that we had with all the guys, the meeting of minds, or if it's just been something that's been slowly building. But we did it. I mean, I thought that was the point, to eventually get, banned and blocked. So I guess we've ruffled some feathers and we've stuck our necks out and, we did it. Finally got demonetized.
They're finally taking us seriously.
Yes, they are. They are taking us seriously. Oh, they shouldn't take us seriously. It's like we're the threat that's like, it's like we have a file on those guys? Like, so you do know this guy just plays video games and watches anime all the time.
Well, do you know they're outside our houses every day watching us? We each have an FBI agent.
It's like, yo, what up, pimp? So you hungry? We kicking it inside and cooking.
Want a beer, dog?
Oh shit.
Okay, so I gotta ask: Have you seen the whole like? I'm not sure how to describe it. So you know how with the BLM protests, they supposedly were one of the results that came out of it is that they're like, yo, fucking, somehow people weren't really passing Corona during the protests. But do you see this new thing that they've dropped where in Tulsa, Arizona for the Trump rally? They basically said after that rally, a bunch of people got coronavirus.
I find it funny how the numbers are fluctuating so crazy.
That is what I want to ask you. I want to ask you, do you see what do you what do you think of all these fluctuations of the numbers? Because I'm seeing that we're barely going to be reaching 180,000 by the beginning of October, which to me still isn't an alarming number.
I think we're right on course.
You think we're right on course? Because like I don't know, like I feel like we're still not like for as much chaos and confusion and how everybody has to stay safe and whatnot. I feel like the numbers aren't high, especially when you look comparatively at the people who get over it.
Okay, so that is true. And again, this is just my opinion. I think that's only been towards the people in contact. Like, I don't think we've hit a large number of people that are immunocompromised. I think those people have been in lockdown and taken it very serious. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my boss, he hasn't been in the office really. Like, he may come in one day out of the week or 2 days, but everything he's doing is from remote because, you know, he has heart problems. And a lot of other people at my office are still like that. But imagine the people that are taking the risk and saying, fuck it, like it is what it is, because they don't believe that they're immunocompromised. I think it's only been those that have gotten out, like they've gotten it and gotten well because, you know, they're healthy people. And the ones that have died had they were immunocompromised, but they didn't know it. So that's why they died. You know, they thought they were healthy. That's why I'm still taking it serious because I know I'm an asthmatic at the end of the day. So this could very well fuck my lungs up. So even though I am healthy, I do ride my bike and I do healthy activities. I'm still immunocompromised. So I'm still being very respectful of the quarantine and like I'm still like not trying to do the most. Like Korean barbecue's been open and I've been wanting to go back, but I don't want to take that risk just right now. Like being in an area like that, super, you know, packed and tight space, like I'm cool. And I want to wait for the quality of things to go back up. But I think that soon right now, because it's summertime, we got some good weather, everything's going cool, people are really being relaxed. I think what's going to happen is come wintertime and the weather changes and it's going to hit a second wave, and that's where we're going to see a lot of deaths because people that maybe were asymptomatic or maybe it triggers in their body late, you know. DL Hughley just passed out on stage doing comedy because he was dehydrated, and being dehydrated is a symptom of COVID, apparently. So, you know, he said on I think Vlad TV or something saying that he was asymptomatic. So he thought he was good. He's out here doing shows, and yet he passes out on stage. No, I hope he gets a speedy recovery and that he's well. But, you know, I just hope that he's not as reckless anymore and just realizing, you know, like, because we need OGs like that in the game to stay around and stay healthy, you know, like, but at the same time, you got to scratch that itch and you got a family to feed.
True that. Yeah. Huh. That's an interesting take. People who are, you know, no, I believe I wasn't alive.
I know, but of course you weren't. But the Spanish flu popped off in 1919, and then it started killing in 1920. So we're catching this crazy epidemic at the tail end of, you know, 2019, but really it's a 2020 thing, you know, and then we're being relaxed and it's still spreading and spreading and spreading. That 2021, that could be the big shit kicker because we're all going to be thinking like, oh, 2021, we can't wait to be done with this 2020 shit. Fuck 2020. Oh shit. You thought, hey, hold my beer 2020. I'm about to fuck these niggas raw, dog.
I feel because I do believe like in the winter it's very possible a lot of people are going to get way more sick then, because even now that you're mentioning it, a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, yeah, I always get the flu in the winter. And I mean that's going to be a clear case for like probably when shit will pop off again. Yeah, I know like at my work I've already had like four people just got it.
I know for a fact that me personally, my asthma gets bad in the winter, and that's why I'm more because like when I go from hot rooms to cold rooms and cold rooms to hot rooms, it really fucks with my sinuses, and it'll make my shit just start to drip and get all like, like congested or like leaky. And it's always been like that, just that hot and cold climate. So I can only imagine how my immune system may be affected going on. And something that's crazy is with all this going on, no one's talking about how to strengthen your immune system. How come we're not talking about the proper vitamins and things to do to make sure that you're keeping your immune system strengthened? Granted, we
I would hope
take
people know
vitamin
that
C.
shit.
Yeah, well, of course, in our age, we should know that by now. Take some vitamin D, some B12, some vitamin C's, but what about people that don't know? Like, there's still some people out there that think soda's healthy as long as you drink diet.
That is true. That is true. That's painful to think about. But yeah, that is an important part of this. Like, that's why it's important to like eat. Like, I had, Moncao.
Yeah.
Blockhead. One of the blockheads that comes on. Fucking. He recently was saying last night he was saying he stopped feeling good, and then like his whole like he was like talking about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get like a burger from Burger King. But it's like, bro, don't eat that shit. Like, get yourself a salad and some fish or some shit. Boost your immune system. Eat some fruits and vegetables.
I mean, I know Moncayo, but I don't know him like you know him. I mean, for some people, what if it's like a withdrawal? It's like he was feeling good. He wasn't feeling good because he hadn't had something bad in a long time. Like, I know like I'm not as bad as like, Lamb or something. Like, cause he was saying how if he doesn't have coffee, he'll get headaches. Like, I used to be that bad, but not anymore. But like when I used to drink like 12 cups a day, that shit was like, yo, if I didn't drink coffee that day, I have a headache. And then once you drink it, it goes away. It's like, it's that addiction. I feel like fast food can be the same way. And that's why like, when I go on benders and I'm just eating like shit for the weekend, and then like on that like last day, it's like my stomach's like, oh, like a bad stomach ache when I try to like, oh, a salad would feel good right now, and it's like, no, this isn't what you want. You want something else. It's like, nope, salad is all you're gonna get, and then I'll have the shits for like about a day and a half, and then I'm back to normal.
You gotta dump everything out.
Yep.
This podcast episode is heavy on the shits today. Heavy on the shits.
All right, so this might be a little bit of TMI, but I feel like as a man, you may experience this. Have you ever had the urge to shit? Like you got the feeling to shit in your stomach where it's like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. It's gonna be liquid. It's gonna shoot out like a fucking river, not a machine gun. But then you're like, no. Or it's like maybe someone's in the bathroom. You got to hold it in, and it's like you're thinking, solidify. Okay, it's a solid poop now. I can hold it for a few hours. Like, and then you go about your shit like without just doing what you were doing.
Yeah, we're like it's so bad. We're like you have to stop walking or moving and doing anything, and like you just have to focus. And you're like, one of your legs may start shaking, and like you kind of start getting like a sweaty ass cheeks. I would say it is because you're just kind of like focusing on like not letting it just leak down your leg.
I got a perfect question for you because this actually was a conversation that came up yesterday. Could you shit yourself standing up?
Yeah, you can. You're not supposed to, but yeah, you totally can. I shit myself standing up when I was a kid one time. Okay. I was holding my shit and I couldn't hold it anymore.
Okay.
And it just came out.
Now this is where the question keeps extending. Now, do you think you'd be able to shit yourself as a kid and then continue playing as if you didn't shit yourself?
No, I definitely cried. I was so mad.
Would you be able to argue with your mother saying everything's all right, I can play an extra 20 minutes when you have an underwear load full of shit? And the kids wear like tighty whities, so it keeps it in there. It's not like when you wear boxers where it might fall out the sides. It's in there. Do you think you'd be able to not smell it?
No, honestly, I'm not sure what kind of kid you were, but like if that was me, I would take those underwear off, throw them away, and then like resume playing at that point. I definitely want a shower. How far am I from a shower?
Dead ass.
I'd at least use a water hose or a water faucet, a sink. I would find some sort of water to clean myself off a little bit.
I remember once when I was a kid, and it was at that age where it was like, you're not supposed to be pooping your pants. Like, you're supposed to be potty trained. And I remember, like, I had to use the bathroom, and a little nugget popped out, and I was so afraid and didn't know what to do. So, like, I hit it. But you could clearly you could clearly smell it. I just couldn't get away to like, I was like, oh, it was wrapped up, and it was like in my room. And my dad came in, he's like, where's that shit? And I was like, I don't know. And then he made me like point it out, and then I was like, oh shit, I caught that shit myself. But even then, like, that's what I'm saying. As a kid, like, I've always known that that's a bad thing once you get to a certain age. But man, like, my sister's friend, I guess, her kid, and I don't know, maybe he might have a disability, so I'm not gonna rag on him too hard, or maybe he's just a kid, they don't know better. But this nigga's been shitting his pants like a lot, like they say, where it's like a lot. Like, I think he's like 5 or 6.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
It's okay to have skid marks, but not just straight taking a dump on yourself.
Again, like, just like, no, I can still play, but you shit yourself. like, he's like, and then he's like, oh, I did? I maybe his farts are too loose. I don't.
How does he not know you shit himself?
Dude, that's a mystery of the world. Like, because I mean, my thing is this, and also I think this is something that a lot of people can agree upon. If you're having a conversation on speakerphone, I have all the right in the world to listen to your conversation and also openly comment on your conversation. And
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and
especially if you can clearly hear.
Yeah, if I can, like, I mean, why don't you just put the phone up to your? That's another side rant. Not going to get into it, but basically, I was commenting on it, and I was asking a lot of questions, and I was not getting the answers that I needed. I was very like I kind of left that conversation upset and a little bit angry. Like, why aren't you parenting? Why aren't you doing things? Why are you like, this boy's gonna go to elementary school or kindergarten and be the kid who shits himself?
Yeah, honestly, I think if I was doing that, like the first time, my parents would be like, "Oh, you can't do that. Don't you understand?" Maybe like the first 2 or 3 times, and after that, they're gonna be like, "Why you keep shitting yourself? This is a problem." And then definitely by the 5th time, I'm getting a spanking for shitting myself again. Every time after the 5th time, I'm getting a spanking for shitting myself. I mean, because it's like, yo, why do you keep shitting yourself? Like,
that's
maybe that shows how bad my parents were. They just hit me when they wanted to teach me something.
Wouldn't you go to a specialist though, or something? Like, honestly, all right. So I had a cousin. This is another true story. Fucking, he used to suck his thumb. All right, really bad. My dad, of course, didn't want him to get buck teeth. And on one of our camping trips, we went to a cabin, and he was still sucking his thumb. So while he was sleeping, we poured hot sauce all over his thumb. Motherfucker just licked it all off like it was nothing. My dad woke this nigga up by like shaking him, like, wake up. He's like, stop sucking your thumb. It's like, if you suck your thumb one more time, I'm gonna take a fat ass shit. And my dad was known at this time to take the most foul shits. Like, he takes a shit literally 25, 35 minutes. You gotta wait. He says, I'm gonna take the fattest shit, and I'm going to dip your whole fucking thumb in that fucking shit. And then he just like, he got so scared. Like, we would fuck with him, like they'd be like, Uncle Paul, fucking, like Christian's we fucking sucking his thumb. And be like they were just like, like, he'd be like, no, I wasn't sucking my thumb. Like, my dad was not playing that shit. Like, he's like, you're a boy, you can't be sucking your thumb. People gonna want to put other things in your mouth. Like, we're like, what? Like, as a little kid, I remember my dad and uncle used to say so much.
Can you explain that?
But as you know, when you're like 3rd grade, you're not like, what?
Yeah,
like, they were just saying some real manly shit around kids. They probably shouldn't have. Like, what are we talking about? Put other things in your mouth.
What does he mean by that? It's like,
yeah,
that's one of those grown folk things where, like, you didn't say anything bad, but you said something really bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy,
that's how I talk to kids. Yeah, I accidentally spray farted myself on Monday. I just started my break and I just got out to my car, and it was one of those leaky shit situations where I was holding it, and then it went away, and I just kind of had to fart, and like I just kind of farted and it leaked a little bit, just a little, ooh, and I was like, damn, and I had to go home.
Bro, that sounds like you shit yourself. That's not a shart. I feel like that's a genuine like, nah, you just
No, it wasn't shit. It was just wetness. It was wetness. It was a pretty gnarly fart though.
Woo, that's a hell of a story. That's a hell of a story. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
and that was honestly, I haven't shit myself since I was a child. Like I can say that wholeheartedly, without a doubt. I have not shit myself. Like I've had instances where it's like I was right there on the cusp. Like if I just like literally pants down, barely past my ankle, midway down, haven't even touched the toilet yet, and just the shit comes out. Like luckily, nothing got on the toilet seat.
I remember one time I sharted myself while I was eating some pussy. That was real awkward. I don't even know how it slipped out. I was just munching away, and then like I had to slip away real quick. And she knew though. Like she was like, "Dude, did you shit yourself?" And I was like, "Nah, I sharted."
Oh, that's even worse. Oh, you know, it's funny because like there's been times where it's like, and I'll probably have to tell people not to listen to this episode just for history, but you know, with people where it's like, damn, like I really have to fart, and like that's gonna kill the mood because it's gonna be bad. It's not even gonna be like just a loud with no smell. It's gonna be like, no, this will fuck the room up. Like, and you just have to hold it where it's like sex is no longer even enjoyable. It's just like, oh my stomach hurts so bad. Like
I do have to admit, like the post nut fart is probably one of the best farts because that's when sex is done, and then like you just fart, and then like even she has to laugh. She's like, okay, that's kind of funny.
To be honest though, it's like, have you ever came so hard you almost shit yourself?
Well, no, I have not.
Yeah, been on that receiving end where it was just like it took everything in my mind to not shit myself, but then at the same time I thought about it and I was like, fuck, if I would have shit myself while coming, that would have been such a pure moment of ecstasy. Like there is no greater feeling in the world than pushing out a nice fat piece of fucking shit on a toilet. And I will live and die by that. You can talk about your own personal orgasm. When you take a really nice shit, it's like art, natural art. But then to add coming on top of it, you gonna bust a nut? I understand what a bumpkin is. I understand why, because I never thought like, why would you ever want to get your dick sucked while taking a shit? I get it now.
So you time your nut with the shit coming out.
No, it's not about the timing. It's about have you ever came so hard your bowels almost released? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, holy shit. Oh.
For some reason, I can't get the image of a giant turd with jizz on it out of my head now. It's kind of making me angry. I don't want to see that image.
Well, now you got the image, and to be honest, that's I realize that that's something you can't do with someone you love.
A bumpkin. Or just shitting yourself while you're busting.
Because that's a level of embarrassment that will. Because think about it. Do you think she's ever gonna want to suck your dick again after you just shit yourself? Like, it's like, just imagine that. Like,
that sounds like a kink. You find that with somebody else that has that kink.
Imagine just have a load in your mouth and then just fucking shit everywhere. Like, it's gonna come out as a spray. Like,
Jesus Christ.
It's like that video I showed you earlier about the guy shitting out his balls.
Yeah, that looked weird.
That was weird.
I didn't understand that one.
Yeah.
I find shit like that funny. Like some people are like, oh, that shit's so gay. But I remember I saw this one where like this dude was like, it was like a quick gif. And like he was laying down on the couch and he was tugging on his dick, and then he just blasted himself in the face. It was like a quick, weird. It was a quick 2-second like gif, but it was so fucking funny. I couldn't stop watching it because he just literally, wow.
Yeah, Tom Segura posted that video on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, that's honestly kind of why Twitter is better than Instagram, because there's no rules. Like you can post what the fuck ever, and you know, like, holy shit.
Isn't that where that one guy's picture started floating around?
Who?
I forgot his name. The big black guy with the big black cock.
Yes, that is exactly how it started getting passed around.
Yeah, Twitter. And then it went to text messages.
Ooh. Well, shit. Oh yeah, I kind of wanted to bring this up too, since we're on the same topic. Not really the same topic. This is actually the exact opposite, but it involves, I guess, the same industry. Child trafficking. Did you hear about the Milwaukee neighborhood that found those missing girls?
Yes, there's 4 missing girls. They started off looking for 2, but they found 4.
Honestly, that I really wanted to bring this up because this is exactly what community policing can potentially be if structured a little bit better. You know, we don't need the mob mentality, but definitely that was some real shit that happened. Like, and they burnt that fucking house down. And according to what I've been reading, the police department wasn't really taking it as serious as they should. They weren't really acting on it. And it took a neighborhood to go ahead and do something in order to get those girls back home. Like,
exactly.
And it just kind of shows the power of the internet too, because there was so much video footage going around. It was all over Twitter. That's how I found out about it. And just like, I'm really starting to learn that as toxic as Twitter is, I actually do now fuck with Twitter a little bit more. And as long as they don't try to keep blocking people and restricting speech, like, it is a pretty good platform. Like, it actually is really good. And I used to talk a lot of shit on Twitter because I thought it was kind of dumb. But as far as just for getting quick news updates and just like finding out about news stories, it's not that bad.
Yeah, Twitter's still that one that I haven't really fucked with.
I still don't understand it. But shout out to Pants Off Slip and Slide. He'd be staying on there sending me shit. Adam be on there sending me shit.
Pants Off Slip and Slide is there?
Yeah. Pants Off Slip and Slide's an OG. It's a real one.
That's one of the originals.
Yep, he's one of the OG blockheads.
Fuck.
All right, so now I want to ask you something as I go answer this door really fast. Now, would you consider yourself a fan of emo music? If not, then why? Or if so,
if
why?
not, if so, then why?
Yeah.
Or
do you even think you're a fan of emo music?
I mean, I don't mind emo music. Yeah, I definitely don't mind emo music, especially because like I guess it kind of growing up, I always kind of felt like an emo kid a little bit, but like I don't know, I was into Fall Out Boy and really Panic at the Disco. Not like a big fan or anything. So I definitely like I don't know. That's a confusing one because like I wouldn't call myself a fan, but at the same time, I don't hate the music. And the chick I'm dating right now, like she's actually a big emo fan, or was a big emo fan. So like she'd be like blasting some band. Honestly, like it's not horrible. I've definitely heard other styles of music that I like less.
Well,
where did that come from?
Because like during the week, I kind of found out that I'm a fan of emo music. I really didn't think I was because I didn't really know the genre, but I knew certain bands at that time that I would listen to. Like, I'm not just talking about their singles. I actually listened to like the album and just like it was a part of the the repertoire. Like Mayday Parade.
Mayday Parade, or even Chemical Romance.
My Chemical
Romance is
The
definitely
Used.
an emo band. The Used, yeah, The Used.
Simple Plan.
Simple Plan. I can't think of that band right now.
Taking Back Sunday.
Oh my God, I forgot about Taking Back Sunday. Oh my, I'm just realizing what that name is. Taking Back Sunday.
Yellow Card.
I wasn't a fan of Yellow Card.
Yeah, I fucked with some of the songs. Well, that one, their first CD, I think, or their first like mainstream one that went big. Hawthorne Heights, Good Charlotte, apparently.
Oh yeah, I forgot Good Charlotte. Yeah.
Simple Plan.
Jesus Christ, these are like band names that like I haven't thought of
I know,
in
but
fucking years.
But you probably fuck with the music. All right, Jimmy Eat World.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking two. Some other bands I mentioned was Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco.
I was gonna name those two. Blink-182 is actually considered to be in that somewhat emo genre.
Yeah, I was gonna say them, but I think they're supposed to be punk, but they're like a really like mainstream poppy punk. Same with Green Day.
Paramore.
Oh, Paramore. Yeah, isn't that what's that girl's name? Admiral Levine.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not the biggest fan, but and that's a strong word because fan is short for fanatic. But hey, like I would hear a lot of people talking shit on emo kids and emo music, but it's like, come to think of it, I actually like emo music. Something that's like weird to think about.
Yeah, it was. It was like it wasn't my favorite music, but like I definitely fucked with it because I always liked rock, especially like metal and shit like that. But like that wasn't nothing like metal, but like I don't know, guitars and drums and shit like that.
Yeah.
Have you been fucking with any of these little new niggas? Like
Wait,
I just found out who Little Baby is.
Oh yeah, the Perks be fucking Little Baby up.
You can hear it in his voice. Yeah, you could hear it in his voice. Like, but I don't know. I was like actually listening to it. It's like newer rap, and like I haven't found like a lot of new artists that like I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. But like I was listening to your shit, I was like, oh, I actually fuck with that.
You know what? And this is something that I hope some of our listeners kind of give us feedback on, just so they can keep the conversation going. Given our current climate, given what's going on, why do we still in the hip hop community support bullshit?
What kind of bullshit you talking about?
Like I was having a conversation the other day with someone at work. We were talking about hip hop and how I'm kind of not with a lot of the bullshit because I feel like if we follow the history of rap should have been able to change our community's mindset a long time ago. Like when hip hop first started, it was really entertaining. You know, hip hop, hippity hippity, hip hip hop, you don't stop rocking. Then you had the Public Enemies and people standing up and trying to actually do shit. You had the reality rap, which was now then coined gangster rap, you know, with Eazy-E's, Ice Cubes. And we've always said, you know, they're rapping about their environment and their community. And everything they rap about their environment and community is shit. It's the worst part of the community. Robbing niggas, stealing, killing, all of that stuff. So if that's the case, why do we continue to support that style of hip hop? I get it, like, but you know, why is it that we aren't policing our own neighborhoods like that Milwaukee place? We know there's a trap house. Well, fuck it. Why do we want drugs being pushed in our neighborhood? Why don't we fucking call the cops on the crack houses, on the trap houses? You know, like that's what I'm trying to say. And like we're glorifying rappers that all they rap about is the perks they take or the drugs they sold or the niggas they killed and the ops they're killing. But we don't support rappers that actually are preaching and pushing a conscious message or, you know, try to put them in the forefront, talking about doing positivity. Even like when you think about it, the ringtone rap era was better than this drug shit that we're pushing now. Like at least they were talking about doing creative dances and having fun and being at the party and being the coolest guy. Same with the jerkin era and shit. So my thing
everybody wants to be a wannabe killer.
Like this kid, young NBA young boy, like this kid's a fucking like in my mind, like the way he talks, he just sounds unintelligent and just like the way he moves is super reckless. Like his house got robbed. Jay Prince basically got his shit back and he tries to like play the tough guy and act ignorant and then realizing that, yo, you got someone that's looking out for you and that, you know, that's a man with power. Like when they say, yo, like someone can rob you, but if someone tells you, hey, you robbed the wrong person, give that shit back, and they're like, yo, my bad, I fucked up, like that's respect. And he just try to flip it on some Instagram goofy shit, trying to act like he's talking shit to Jay Prince and all this. And it's like, I feel like, why would we even promote someone like that? Someone with such an ill character. Like, your music's not even that good. Like, there's way better rappers out there. Like, just for example, like Bill and Park. That's like a real, to me, hip hop group. You know, some people that are rapping about their reality, but promoting a bigger message of positivity. You know, like the J. Coles of the world. You know, fucking who else? Like Phony People, or fucking what's some guy's name? They did the whole Spillage Village album, and Embarrassing People, Earth Gang, like shit like that, you know.
Earth Gang, Flatbush, Kendrick, all these people. I feel like a lot of part of it has to be because of the youth. A lot of people who like these new guys are like kids, 18 to 21, maybe even 24 in some cases. And like a lot of them aren't even like black kids. A lot of them are white kids and shit that think like that's what's cool.
Until they have their Caucasian renovation, and then they realize it's like everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. Like,
exactly.
But I think it kind of also stems from the culture. You know, one of these investment groups, Vanguard, has ties with the music industry, especially hip hop. But Vanguard is also closely tied to the prison population. So if you brainwash the youth to think that selling drugs can get you out, or potentially add stock to your rap career and get you money through that, you know, going through the hardship to potentially get a bag later, you know, no, odds are you're going to end up dead or in jail. So when they go to jail, they end up profiting from it. Or if they end up becoming a famous rapper, they get to profit from it, you know? So it's kind of like that's the kind of thing I think about.
They have a double investment. Either way, they're making money off of it. Yeah. That's the fucked up part. And that's the part that these kids aren't going to know or understand. You mentioned industrial prison complex to somebody that's in high school, or even a freshman in college. They're not really going to understand what the fuck you're talking about. They're going to like, get out of here, nerd. Okay, grandpa.
But I feel like that culture is changing. I feel like we grew up in the culture where it was uncool to be smart, and it was cooler to be looked at as kind of an airhead, or someone who's a little bit spaced out, or someone who's just like more zenish. Now it's like, no.
These kids are popping Zans and eating Tide Pods. They still stupid as fuck. They're still about their stupid shit.
But they still have the wherewithal to buy and to reserve a shitload of Trump, you know, rally tickets so that the turnout would be low, you know. So they're not as dumb as we think they are. I think me personally, I think we don't give the Gen Zs enough credit. You know, I think that they are a little bit immature. They still don't. They're not there yet because we were all in that age group. But I think that they have a better grasp on technology and how we are also programmed by social media, because that's all they know. So they kind of look at that way more closely and in depth, like at the numbers. Like me and you, we don't give a fuck about social media like that. Like even our Instagram page, like I run it, but I'm not like posting every day. I just, if I see something, that's why I'm more active on the storyline. For all you blockheads that are active on the Instagram page, I'm more active on the storyline because I can post something quick. I don't have to go make a post, edit a video together to compile some shit. I can just put out something and just keep it pushing. And then when I really want to put something on the post that actually I'm trying to, you know, create a message or, you know, put some shit together, it flows. But fuck, man, definitely. Like I know kids that just know how to use this shit.
Yeah, there's definitely like, it's very common to come across kids that have like easy like 1,000 followers. Where it's like, I'm over here struggling. I'm like barely hitting like 400.
And you're using your personal page.
Yeah, exactly. So fucking it's one of those things where
I told you got to create a new page.
I did create a new page.
Yeah, but I've seen your page. A lot of your page has like followers of people that I know personally. You got to get them
No, it's
new
not.
fans.
No, look at that shit. It's all comedians.
Which page you talking about?
It's Tim Redhose, which you guys could follow me on Instagram and pretty much all social medias. And coming to you soon will be Twitter.
Yeah, you definitely need to hop on that Twitter. Let's see.
That's something I've never really done.
Let's see. So
I don't even like.
L-
I only add people that I
L-
know when
L7,
they add me back.
DJ, Jay Quaylar, Johnny, Dom, Miguel, Julian. We got. Let's see. Oh shit! Looks like you do have a little bit of Daniel Bertrigo. Yeah, well, when I go down the list, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep dropping everyone's names, but I'm seeing a lot of followers, but of people that you already know. Because you cross promoted through your old Instagram.
No, I didn't. I'm that old one. People just followed. It's Tim Redhose are like, and then they just followed me back. And then once they followed me, then like I followed them back. I'm not gonna be like, oh, just because I know you, I'm not gonna follow you. It's like, oh, fuck it, a follow for a follow, dog.
Oh, I have to look at the page. Like if you're a private, to be honest, and just for the blockheads that are out there listening, if your page is private, I'm not gonna follow back because I don't know if you're a troll account or if you're just like, some bullshit. If you do actually DM, then I'm more likely to follow back. But if it's like a personal page, like, and you're not active, like you're just posting your dog or like a random ass thing, it's like I'm not gonna follow for that because I'm not gonna even see that in my timeline. It's I follow like a lot of hashtags and just like people. But when it comes down to like other pages, that's different.
I keep
Artists, I'll follow other artists. Like if I see like you're another podcast page or if you're a comedian, I usually follow the comedians back.
I've been getting I've gotten a couple offers to join the Illuminati now.
I've gotten a few of those.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, well, who the fuck do you think I am? No, I'm not going to give you money. That and people keep asking me if I want to buy weed off them. That one's weird.
I've gotten a few from Australia.
I really want to take up those weed offers because it would be nice if I start getting free weed from somebody. But at the same time, I'm not sure about the legality aspect of it. And that's the part that really startles me.
Yeah, I'd have to get it sent to like a P.O. box or something.
Can't stop doing that. I should put that down. All right. Shit. Oh, fuck. It's already past 7? How long have we been doing this for?
Let's see.
Where are they?
We're about an hour 30 in.
Okay, for sure. I need to get out of here. I gotta go hit up Baja's. It's opening up tonight, and I need to bless that stage with my presence.
Okay.
Oh, and really quick, anyone that happens to listen to this, Saturday, June 27th, come out to Mezcal Lounge in Riverside. It's going to be I forgot what the show's called, but it's free. And it's going to be presented by, I'm pretty sure it's Julio G. I think it's Julio G.
Oh, the Julio G.
Yeah, it's a Julio Gonzalez. I've been told that it's Julio G, but I'm not sure about that. So, but yeah, fucking come check it out. If you have anything to do or if you don't have anything to do, I don't care. Ditch your friends, come hang out with us. It's going to be a hoot.
All right, well, then on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this episode of the Block is Hot podcast up. We will be back. We're going to be starting our back to our normal recording schedule, Tuesdays, so we can release on Wednesdays next week?
Yes.
All right, then. So we'll be heading on doing that. Again, I'm your host, Famous Amos, a.k.a. Mr. Unidentified, a.k.a. Billy Bordeaux, and everything in between.
Those titties. Good night, y'all.
Good night, motherfuckers. Oh, okay.
Can I disconnect now? Are we still recording?
Let me make sure.